Jai Hind everyone, welcome again to the Patriotic Eyes. Let's start our IAS PCSwala Delhi current affairs. Under that we will discuss the major news and the editorial that are relevant for the UPSC and other state PCS. We have major topic, lot of topic we have we'll start with the Middle East Economic Corridor, that is a road and a rail link, so that will connect us with the West Asia as well as Europe. Okay, so this will be under GS paper 2 international relation. This also talk about our relation with the Greece. Then we will study the Union Cabinet approve 100% FDI in the space. So it will be under GS paper 3 investment as well as science and technology. So we'll see that what is this 100 category and what are the area where this is, whether this is by the automatic route or the government route. Okay. After that we will study this the bill that is into the Assam assembly, that is the magical healing. This is against the magical healing. So it will be under GS paper 1 society. So the different type of negative etiquettes and the negative trained tradition into our society and religion. So we will study. After that we will study this cryogenic engine and its human rated for our Gaganyaan mission, that is our space mission. Under that human will be sent into the space. So GS paper 3 science and technology. After that we will study this tribal affairs and Ayush ministry, they have Pact for the health screening. So we will study under the government government scheme as well as the health sector. So GS paper 2 means के perspective से. Okay. After that we will study this what is this fair remunerative price for the sugar. So how this differ from the MSP. So GS paper 3 subsidies. After that we will study about the demise of the Fali Nariman, what has been his contribution. So this will be for the state pieces, please you should remember for that. And then we will study this how the health system should be discussed under the electoral season. Now the election for the Lok Sabha is pending, and that's why we will study under this context. GS paper 2 health sector. After that we will study the fair treatment of women employees, as we saw that Supreme Court came up with its verdict that yes, we cannot discriminate women on the ground of that they are going to get married or anything such that. Okay. Then we will study this beyond the shelter, what we need beyond the just providing the housing facility, and what are the quality of this house that we are going to provide should be there. So GS paper 2 government scheme again. After that we will study the human and animal conflict. This already we have done in the previous lecture, so it will be in a very brief manner. And then we will study this India's smartphone export, whether it has been rise in a proper manner. We will compare Indian export of this smartphone with the other nations such as the Vietnamese condition and the condition in the China. So it will be for the GS paper 3 export section, mains के perspective से. And after that in the last we will study on the financial devolution among the state. So this will be like the center state financial relation, again GS paper 2 के perspective से. Okay, let's start with the front page. So on the front page the first news is with respect to the India and Greece relation. There, the participation of the Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis. Okay, here, Prime Minister. So, what is the major chunk that we have dealt with this meeting of Mr. Mitsotakis? Okay, so the first thing we are talking about that we should further focus on the India Middle East Economic Corridor. So despite the war is going in the Israel, and the path of this India Middle East European Economic Corridor that is going through the Israel. So let's see this. Okay, so this is the path, this is the sea route, this is the rail and road link, and we will reach towards this Israel and after that the Greece. Piraeus. Piraeus is the port in the Greece. Please remember this Piraeus port. So it's become important. After that, we have studied that IMEC who were the founding member. We started this IMEC on the G20 summit, and the founding member was, you know, that France, our close friend. It is the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Germany, Italy, and Mauritius. So these are the founding members of this project, and this is a very good reply to the Chinese One Road One Belt initiative. Beside that, what are the other area that we have discussed with the Greek Prime Minister? This is the area like that we want to double our trade, we want to enhance our mobility, so finalizing the mobility and migration pact so that we could regulate the illegal migration. There is the issue with respect to the visa approval and other thing. We also want to cooperate on the co-production and co-development of the military hardware. This is common. Whenever the Europes come, whenever any country from the Europes come or the developed world come, we generally go for the demand for the co-development and co-production. Okay, so this is all about. So you should know. Already we saw that where this Piraeus port is situated, and you should know this Israeli Hafia port is there, that it will be the one part of this IMEC, so you should remember. Next important news that we will take is this Manipur High Court removed the portion of its order SC tag for the Metis, because we know that this was the demand, this was the order of High Court, and those due to this High Court and this order, the day it declared order, next day, after just one day after, the violence started in the Manipur, and near about 200 people have been died, 60,000 people have been displaced. That is the situation. Now the order has been removed, the same order. It was the order that was mentioned that please to the Manipur government that please consider the inclusion of Metis in the list of scheduled tribe. Okay, and the judge was the acting chief justice. Okay. So you should know this. Next important news that we are going to take. This is with respect to, you should know this fourth Khelo India Winter Games is going into the Gulmarg. The Gulmarg is in the Jammu and Kashmir's famous hill station. So just for the prelims perspective, even from the state pieces perspective, fourth Khelo India Winter Game that is in the Gulmarg. Next important news, very important news, that we are going to provide 100% FDI into the space sector. Now, 100%, this is not for the all area of the space sector. It is not into the launch pad. You know, there is a different area like the launch pad. Under that we put our satellite into the launch pad, and after that we launch satellite. After that they are projected, and that revolve around the Earth. So this is the system. So where we are going to provide the 100%, there is the three component. The first component, that is talking about the 100% FDI. This is in the only providing into the parts, not about the full component. Manufacturing of the components and the systems, subsystem of the satellites, ground segments and user segment. Okay, are you getting that? If there is a satellite, there is a different parts that is provided. Complete satellite is still out of the this 100% automatic route. Okay. And for the launch pad, we have provided only 49%. Okay. And for the full satellite manufacturing, we have provided 74%. 74% FDI. So please remember, it is easy. Why we will provide in the launch? Launch is the most crucial thing. Launch, that is the main system. Under that we project the satellite. This is the satellite. Maybe we can ask for to give 100% into the manufacturing the parts. If there is the satellite, there could be the need of the some of the transistors, some of the chips, some of the ports, some of the wire, different thing there is needed, but the complete satellite is still, it is for the 74%. For the components, it is 100%, and for the launch, it is 49%. Launch vehicle, it is an associated system. Okay, so look, this is the launch system. Satellite is inside this launch system. Okay, this is the missile. and the launch system, and satellite is the part of that, and even this satellite is made up of so many things. Okay, so you should remember this thing, and this will help into the enhancing the capability of the Indian space sector, because we can attract more and more investment. We have the labor force, we have the affordable scientist. So this is all about. Beside that, it is talking about the as for the existing FDI policy, foreign investment is allowed in establishment and operation of satellite via government approval route only. Okay. So government means you have to take the approval from the government that whether we should proceed if this is the crucial area where we need secrecy, where we need the we do not want to disclose any of the information, we will not provide. Okay. So yes, here the other development is that the flood management and border area program management scheme that has been provided with the funding of 2,940 rupees. So this is the separate news. Okay. So this you should remember. Okay, so next important news that we are going to take is this healing prevention of evil practice will in the Assam. This want to prevent if you are going to promise that yes, there is the magic, by the magic I can cure your whatever illness you have or ailment you have. Means if I am suffering from the some disease, I will go, generally people go into the tribal area for these a different type of the tantrics, and yes, in this condition in the Assam area, this is also the Christian missionaries. So as per the allegation here, it has been mentioned, even this Assam Christian missionaries, they have opposed that yes, it is the matter of the fact we pray to the God, we do not provide the magic, we just pray to the God. And yes, this is provided, the freedom under this has been provided by the article 25 of the Indian Constitution. So yes, this is the here, but the as per the chief minister that this magical healing practice need to be banned and curb the evangelism. Okay, so Assam becomes the second BJP ruled state in the northeast after the Arunachal Pradesh for the such type of the rule. So please, you should know, this is providing punishment of the 1 year for the first time crime, and 50,000 of the penalties as well. If the reputation is there, this could be 5 years and the 1 lakh of the penalty. So this is, you should know, major thing, and there is the discussion that whether it is obstructing with the right to religion, freedom of religion of a person. So there is the different thing, faith and yes, magical healing. So here the tussle is on the different ground. Next important news, we already have discussed, we have covered this news that this is from the a festival that is of the tribal of the Telangana. What is the name of this festival? This is known as the Midam Jatra. Okay, and this is considered one of the largest festival of the tribal. And here the devotees of offer jaggeries of their same weight as the their weight, equal to their weight to the deities. Okay, what are the deities? Deities are the Samakka Sadalamma. Okay, so please remember this. Next important news, again we will take with the science and technology. Here, ISRO key test over the CE20 cryogenic engine is now human rated for the Gaganyaan. So we know that we are going for the manned space mission, and that we will send the main to the space, and this is known as the Gaganyaan mission. So what is the cryogenic engine? This cryogenic engine has the capacity and they have potential to use a specific type of the fuel that is known as the cryogenic, and the temperature at this is maintained is very low. It is of the minus 150 degrees centigrade. And what are the fuel propellant that is used? This is the hydrogen and liquid oxygen. So please remember the liquid oxygen, and this is very difficult to maintain at this particular temperature. So this is the main thing we are able to do, get success in this, and we already have successfully tested this stage of the trial. Okay, so now we are ready for the sending this Gaganyaan mission man on this. So this is all about. Okay, What is the human rated rating refers to? That rating a system that capable of safely transporting the human. So that is mean the human rating. Here it has mentioned that human rating of C20 cryogenic. And what is this mean? This mean that we are able to send the capable of the sending the main with this type of the transportation system, that is the launch system. Next important news that we will take is this tribal affair and IAS ministry have signed the pact for the health screening. So where you can use this, you can use whenever you are going to write with the what are the initiative government is taking with respect to the tribals. So in the means there could be the further point. Yes, you can write that our IAS ministry and the tribal affairs ministry, they have collaborated so that they can provide the health checkup, such as there are the disease, there are the issue in the area of the different disease like the anemia and yes, the nutrition and malnutrition, hemoglobinopathy, tuberculosis. This is all the thing that is dominating into the tribal population, and this is very specific to the those Eklavya model school where the tribal students are provided with the education in the environment that suit their culture, their tradition. And near about we have the 55 Eklavya model residential school where is the hostel facility. And what is the age group? This is the 10 to 18 is the age group, and they are from the class 6 to 12. So please remember, this is very important. Next important news is with respect to the increased FRPs of the sugar cane. So what is the difference between this MSP and FRP? This fair and remunerative price is for the sugar, and for the other crop it is the MSP. So please remember that. And this is the cabinet committee on the economic affairs that take the final decision with respect to the this price that is given to the farmers. Next important news, you should know the demise of Fali S. Nariman. He is the very much highly high profile lawyer, advocate, and yes, law expert. And he was advocate of secular principle in India. He has written many books. So one of the very important book you should remember that God Save the Supreme Court. Okay, beside that he has also written the Before Memory Faiths. Okay, and yes, he had the different viewpoint on the different issues, such as the particularly he was very much clear about this constitutional principles such as the secularism, democratic value, constitutionalism. All that has been advocated by him. For example, one of the his quotation has been given here that he once wrote that I have been brought up to think and feel that the minorities together with the majority community are integral part of India. Okay. I have lived and flourished in a secular India. In the fullness of the time, if God wills, I would also like to die in a secular India. So this was his his stand. He was also very much of the careful of the fair and independent judges or the basic feature of the constitution. He was of the view that to prevent the democracy, the judiciary is very important, and to be the judiciary be functional, it is very important it to be the fair and independent. So it was his view. Besides that, he has been he criticized whenever there is the attack on the minority rights. For example, when the Sabrimala case was associated with the essential religious practice of the minorities, then he criticized it as well. So you should know Fali S. Nariman and what was his stand. Okay. Next important news is with respect to the health system and the health sector, how India is performing. So it has started, this article has been started with the comparing the two government and their performance progress under the UPA and NDA. So it's talking about that the expenditure as The percentage of GDP has been 1.2% near about for the both of the government. There has been the consistent increase in the medical colleges and yes, the capacity of the medical seats as well. So this is the good thing, and there has been the reforms such as the continuity of policy of scrapping Medical Council of India and replacing it the National Medical Commission. So this will be more effective in the regulation process. So here you should remember, here it has given that what will be the further steps such as the universal health coverage that is needed. For example, it has given example of the Thailand and Turkey, and here we have seen that we have they have introduced the universal health coverage, and it has have the impact on the many areas such as the reducing the people's financial burden, reduce disease incidence, maternal and infant mortality, and all this area. Here it has compared that in India, take this maternal mortality that is the 3 times of the global average. This is very high. So we need that. Okay. So beside that, what are the other things we need to do is the community surveillance and the demographic data alongside the disease profiling of the those patient as well. And we need to designated population get integrated with enable them to planning the right skill mix required for the address current and the future health need of the population. Beside that, it is also talking that there is need for the proper monitoring of the health, whatever the health concern the people are facing. For example, here it is talking about the establishing the IT and monitoring system that evaluate the performance based on the outcome data link in the to the finance. Okay, so here, but still the challenge is there. The challenge is that to reform all this, we need a political will that is lacking in India. Here it has mentioned that yes, the political leadership is needed, and they need to come out of this preoccupation of high-end hospitals, high-tech diagnostic and digitization, because the most of the cure can be solved at the primary and the secondary stage. There is no need for go for the tertiary stage. This writer is of the belief that you know na, what is the primary. Very at the initial stage when you go for the village level, that clinic where you are check and you the doctors give you the medicine. After that, the secondary level where you get the but this tools and equipment such as the X-ray machine and other thing, and the tertiary level where the high-tech machines and equipments are provided. Like the if you are facing the cardiac arrest, there could be the there could be the equipments for all this thing. Okay. So most of 90-95% of this cure can be done at the primary and secondary layer. So the government should focus on this layer itself. Next important news is with respect to the housing that government is focusing, and as we saw in our recent finance, the budget of union government, that is mentioning that we are going to bring at least 2 crore of the more houses for the Grameen areas, and beside that we are going to introduce with the new housing scheme for the middle class as well. So here it is talking about that this article is talking that yes, you are going to provide this uh, low cost and housing for the people at the lower level and the middle class. But what is needed, the manner you are going to build all these houses need to be careful that whether they are environmentally compatible or not. If there is the it is heating, lot of heat is there inside the house, what the people will need the extra appliance such as the cooler or the ACs or other thing that will need more electricity, and it will ultimately result into the more emission of the greenhouse gases. And yes, this vulnerable group do not able to afford this electricity charge and other thing. So this is talking about all these things that we need to some sustainably environmentally sustainable way of making this houses. Here it has mentioned that one of the technology to construct the houses are the MEWAM. So this technology utilizes the advanced aluminum form work which is recyclable and reusable to the cost and construct various building elements. But the thing is that this is the low cost, but this is not the that this create lot of heat stress and heat generation, and that's why this could not be that much sustainable for the long term. So this is all about, this article is talking about the affordable housing should be there, but with respect to the environmental consideration. Next important news is, again, this is the repetition of the same news we studied earlier, that the Supreme Court came up with its judgment that if the woman is discharged or the suspended or they are fired from the job just for getting married, that will be unconstitutional, and yes, it is not valid. So here it is the case from the 1988, and the judgment came now, and it asked the government to please compensate 60 lakh rupees for this lady. Okay, and it was from the military nursing service. Okay, so now you can have this further point that yes, whenever you are going to write for the women empowerment, you can bring all this point. Okay. Beside that, it has mentioned that women face lot of odd situation. Already they have the very low percentage into the job profile. Here it is given that their percentage is still 19% till now, 19.9%. Okay, recent data is talking, and they face the issues such as even in the interview they are asked uncomfortable questions such as what is your plan, future plan with respect to the family planning, marriage, all this thing, and this is not good. This is not a normal question. This embarrass the women within this interview panel. Okay, they are quiz about the future plans, everything. Okay, so you can mention all this thing. Next important news, again, this editorial news is with respect to this Chandigarh electoral process and the rigging of the mayor election. After that, Supreme Court came up with the very hard on the that official was participating in the rigging. This was the case, and yes, here even this election was used by the JP Nadda, the president of the BJP, that he once said that this result underscore the failure of the both arithmetic and chemistry in the opposition alliance, but they still now have to deal with the party loss of the face. So when the mayor was elected from the BJP side, the president of BJP, JP Nadda, was talking, and this shows that it is a failure of the opposition. Despite they have the 20 seat, they are not able to form the mayor in the Chandigarh. So this is all about this. Now he is facing the criticism on this itself. It has become difficult for him to take care of that. Again, this question, this news article is repetition of the thing that is going in the Kerala, the human and animal conflict. So you know what was the name of that elephant, Berul Makhna. Okay, so he was the responsible of killing of the many of the citizens, and after that the protests started in the Wayanad. So what are the issue? Major issue is that the corridor that is for the passage of these animals like the elephant, that has been encroached by the people either by plantation activity or the agriculture activity, and that's why these animals are coming into the human habitation. If you are going to make your, for example, what is the corridor? Take the example of the corridor. This is like if there is the fragmented, if there is the forest area, this is the forest area, and this is the other forest area, and this is connected by this. So this animal cannot live in this area. They have to move for a long area so they can survive. So this is the corridor. By that, this elephant can move from here to here. Okay. Here to here, he is moving. But if you will start agriculture in this area, what they will do? And this is the human habitation. Okay. They will start coming in this area. If you have blocked this by the agriculture and plantation, they will move in this. So this is the issue in the Kerala. There's a lot of this wildlife area that has been encroached by the this. For example, 24% corridors were under the reserve forest and 76% under the forest agriculture, tea garden and human settlement. Okay, so this reduce the corridors for the wildlife. What they do, they will enter into the human habitation. So this is the thing. Other thing is the loss of ecological connectivity and habitat and resulting confinement of the wildlife to the fragmented forest. Okay, so here it is further mentioning that diminishing yield of the crop, disease impacting the plantation despite the favorable market price, or this is the result of this encroachment and such malpractice such as the monoculture and the use of the pesticide and insecticide that depleted the soil fertility and the cultivation. Okay. So overall, this is the region for this. Here it has mentioned that not a single peak, lake, or this waterfall we have left. We have make all them tourist places, and whenever you are going to make these tourist places, the people will go and they will pollute that and create the distortion and deviation. Okay. So this is all about. Next important news is with respect to the India's smartphone export rise from the 1 to 2.5% in a decade. So what is this is talking about, that in the 10 years we have increased our export from 1% to 2.5%. So it is good, but the still despite 1 to 2%, our aim was so high that we are aiming for the 110 billion dollar by 2024, and now till now we have achieved just 10 billion dollar. Okay, we have achieved this 10 billion dollars. So the aim, what we have aimed and what we have achieved is very low, and we brought a lot of schemes such as the our scheme for the production linked incentive scheme. Under that, if you are going to produce more and more manufacturing products, government was going to give the some of the support concession in the tax, and yes, they were also giving the money to support your production. So this was that, but still if you will compare it with the other countries such as the Vietnam and China, we are very low. Here, government has taken a step to improve the manufacturing, such as it reduce the taxation on the part of this mobile and smartphone that was imported. But still, there are the area where it need to be reduced. For example, the Indian continue to impose 20% tax on the chargers and the circuit boards. They are also used in the smartphone manufacturing, so we need to reduce all this. Here it has given that Vietnam attracted many firms which are looking for the reduce the dependency on the China, and India was not able to provide that environment, and they diverted to the Vietnam. So from the China they shifted Vietnam. Now China, Vietnam and India started on the same 1%. They have the share into the export in the global market. But now the Vietnam has reached 12%, but India is just 2.5%. Okay. Besides that, the China still has the 50% of the share of the overall world smartphone. So you should understand what is the condition. Okay. So this is the comparison you should know. Next important news is with respect to the financial devolution of the revenue from the center, the common pool to the center and the state. So here it has mentioned that what are the criteria and how it has been used. The constitutional provision that gives the division of the revenue between the state and center, it is under the article 270, and is talk about the distribution of the net tax proceed collected by the union government between the center and state. Okay, so what are the area that is mainly distributed? This is like the corporation tax, personal income tax, central GST, center share of the integrated good and service taxes. Okay, and who gives the recommendation for this division? Who decide? This is the Finance Commission of India, and Finance Commission of India is formed under the Article 280 of the Constitution. Okay. And it's provide that the state are also provided the grant in ads beside this division of this revenue. Here the thing is, the main discussion is that there has been always acquisition from the southern state that they are not provided with the equitable sharing. They what are their proportion into the tax base or the taxation or their capacity to control the population. Other thing that is positive development, they were not provided. And as compared to the states such as the Bihar and UP, you can see here it has given in the graph. Their share into this revenue division is very high as compared to their contribution into the tax base. Here it has given the what are the area that is considered for the division of this revenue, sharing of this revenue within the state, like the this income distance. What is the income distance? Here it has defined the income distance. This is the distance of the state's income from the state with the highest per capita income, which is the Haryana. Means if we compare with the Haryana income, per capita income, as compared to the Bihar, it will be the largest for the Bihar. Okay. So here it has given. So this income distance is considered. Beside that, we consider the population now from the 14th commission. We have started this from the population census of 2011. Okay, so you should remember this. Before that, we are going for the only this 1971. Now this is being opposed by the southern state, because they have control after 71. The control of the population is much better in the southern state, but the northern states such as UP and Bihar, they have the continuously have the high population growth. Now they are getting the benefit if it is going to take in 2011 census. Beside that, we also take this forest and ecology, and yes, demographic performance and fiscal discipline. So here it has given that how this is differing from the one state to the other state. All this has been compared here, and beside that, here it has mentioned that the cess and the surcharges, that is the tax on the tax. What is the cess and surcharges? You should know this is not the tax, this is the tax on the tax. For example, I have already explained in our previous session that if 100 rupees is the price of something and you are going to tax it for the 10% is the tax. So how much amount you have to pay? 110 rupees. So the tax amount is the 10 rupees. 10%, 10 rupees. Okay. If I will ask that the cess of 1% or the 10%. So the 10% of this 10 rupees will be the 1 rupees. It will be the cess. So the cess and the surcharge. What is the surcharge? Surcharge is also tax on the tax, but it is not defined that for the what purpose they are going to take. Okay. So this is the difference. So this cess and the surcharge, they form 23% of the gross tax received. As we have seen that the increase in this percentage, and that's why this is not shared with the state. State oppose that please reduce this cess and surcharge so that the portion into the divisible pool could be increased. Okay. So this is all about, you should compare. UPSC has asked the question for the UPSC asked question based on the Finance Commission. Let's see few of the question. Last year, UPSC asked that. Take this question. Consider the following. This was asked in 2023. Demographic performance, forest and ecology, governance reform, stable government, tax and fiscal effort. For the horizontal tax devolution, the 15th Finance Commission used how many of the above as the criteria other than the population area and income distance? So the correct answer for this question is the only 3, because we can see that it is the tax and fiscal effort, stable government, no, not stable government, not the government reform, but the forest and ecology and the demographic performance. I can show you it in the picture as well, the table it has given. So this is the population, this is the demographic performance, this is the fiscal discipline. Okay. Tax effort, here it has given, and yes, there is no mention of the stable government or the governance reform, so you should know. So this is all about for the 2 days news. We have covered most of the area that is relevant for the UPSC. Here we will conclude our session. Thank you for joining the session. All the best. Jai Hind.